Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome back here, Totem Pole Nation. Life lessons with the bald Coach K. We got a special Valentine's Day edition here, coming at you live from the south side of St. Petersburg, Florida, where pretty much in the front yard it's 60 degrees, but back here where the water is, it's 45 degrees. But anyway, it's good to see you guys and everything. Had an amazing podcast yesterday with a former player of mine. Now he's a defensive line coach at Lakewood High School for the Spartans there in South St. Pete, and it was just such a good time catching up with Coach Granger. He's a guy that was liked by all the coaches back in the day. Just a very exciting guy. Always had a big smile on his face. Extremely enthusiastic. He brought. His enthusiasm was it was contagious, and you need that kind of stuff. Very fiery guy, and yeah, we just kind of went through the trials and tribulation of the transition from just growing up rough, and I could not be more proud of the guy. I had no clue that he's over here having fist fights with his mom's boyfriend or stepdad at the time. You never know, but as a coach, you could tell there were some things going on with the guy, and I was just lucky to always have him kind of gravitate towards me, and I'd gravitate towards him. Man, just a good spirit, good soul, and I feel really confident with the Lakewood program with him being there. He's a guy that has a lot of my same influence, tenacity, and everything. They couldn't have found a better guy than to help out that program. But yeah, special day here. It's Valentine's Day. Definitely, today is a day where you want to take care of all the ladies here with Totem Pole Nation. We love you guys. We love you. We thank you for watching us. There's a lot of moms watching. There's sisters. There's girlfriends. There's wives. Hopefully there's some daughters watching and everything. I think we've got good stuff that we plug to all ages and everything. But yeah, big shout out to you guys. I'm very blessed. We've got a dinner reservations at 5 o'clock. We're going to a hibachi restaurant in Tampa, and I've got my daughter and my two granddaughters. My daughter Kathy, who's in the medical field. Couldn't be more proud of her. And then her two amazing daughters, Sophia and Aria. And it was very funny, man. The other day, I just sent her a message of how excited, we are to see her. And she sent me a video like, man, this just happened. And the youngest one, Aria, 3 years old, she was having a little fit and she was whining and she said, I want paw paw. I want paw paw. And it was just, it was the cutest thing. It's funny because, I'm from Virginia, and, there, your grandfather or your granddaddy, for me growing up, it was always my pawpaw, my pawpaw. And he's a guy. He's my favorite guy right now. He's getting up there in age. We just went this past Christmas to go visit him, and he's just a guy that he's just got a lot of passion. He's always gonna take over the room and make everybody laugh. But yeah, so he was my pawpaw. So when my youngest when my oldest granddaughter, when she was at a young age, and you start wanting to call people certain things, what we decided the best way for her to learn is to call each other by the names we wanted to be called. So I go from calling my daughter her name to now we're calling her mama. and then I'm calling her mama Lela. So it's so funny, but Lela in Spanish is grandma, and so that's who we are, man. We're Papa and Lela. I don't know if you're seeing this right now, but yeah, that one that's a beauty right there. There's something about watching that makes you feel very blessed, and I'm so glad to be here and sharing it with you guys. The days I'm not on here, I'm out here every morning. I got my cup of Joe, and yeah, man, I'm watching it. Or I like to do videos on it because it's a beautiful sight. As dark as days sometimes may feel, it always feel good. You're always having a good day when you see that happening right there. But yeah, good stuff. But yeah, we're a Lela and we're a Pawpaw. Coach, Coach, can you hear me? Having a little trouble hearing you, but with that lighting, you're looking amazing. I don't know if you can hear me, but people are seeing you. Yeah, we still can't hear you, Coach. Let me see if I can't do something about that on my end here. Let's see. Hey, I got you.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, man, what's going on? Oh, man, we got Coach T already up. Hey, man, thank you, Coach T. Happy Valentine's Day, Coach Tatum, to your amazing wife, Howard. I'm hearing some back feed on my side. But Howard, man, happy Valentine's Day to Yana. Such an amazing woman. Your beautiful daughters. Hopefully, I know you got something planned. If you haven't already knocked it out, man, you're an amazing father, and I could not be more proud of Howard because he's a guy like myself that kind of came up without a dad there all the time, and when you don't have that around, sometimes when you're around kids, what you wanted, so that's what you can end up being. You know what I mean? You learn from what you didn't have, what you want to have. But Coach Taylor, man, how are you doing? How was the girlfriend's birthday yesterday? What'd you guys get into?
Yeah, everything was good. Just got some Mexican food, and I was real tired yesterday, man. I guess because the Super Bowl took a lot out of me. And then Coach Hutch, he's been under the weather, so we didn't have our strength coach. So we watched the Super Bowl, that 15-minute highlight. We only got to maybe the second. We didn't even get to the second half. Just coaching off of the Super Bowl. Putting everything in our terminology.
Man, that is so cool. I wonder how many coaches do that, and then I wonder how many don't do that, and wonder why their program is where they're at.
Like, I mean, I don't think it's very customary for a high school coach to be, watching NFL film with their players. A lot of the stuff, might not be applicable to their offense that they run. But, when I look at O-line play, there's half slide, full slide, and fan, which is man protection. But I love that jacket you got on, dude. Let me see that jacket.
Take a look at this thing, man. Is this politically correct? I don't even know. Are you allowed, if you're an old rusty veteran like myself, are you okay to wear your high school Letterman jacket? Well, let me tell you this first.
It still looks good, dude. Heck yeah, man.
I'm going to wear this thing either way because I know my mom had to sacrifice a lot for me to get this.
That was about a $250 jacket.
Dude, we didn't have no money like that. So I know mom went without something, for me to have this. So yeah, man. But dude, look at even the nameplate. Can you see that nameplate there?
Yeah, you Big Daddy Cool, man. Big Daddy Cool. Coach Tatum. Man, the love that Coach Tatum has showed Totem Pole Nation and to the Championship Football Coaches Clinic and Life Lessons.
Oh man, without a doubt.
I mean, it's been amazing the love that he has shown. This is a
He's definitely
rising star in the profession.
he's got the blind side locked down for us. We got all day to pass, and if we're gonna pound the rock, we're running. We're following you, big fella. We're following you, my man. I know you're gonna clear the path for us, without a doubt,
Mm-hmm.
man. Thank you very much, man. Happy Valentine's Day to your amazing wife. She's a very lucky lady. We all know that.
Heck yeah, man. So today, you know, just looking at what occurred yesterday and what's trending.
Yeah, did you see the Michigan State deal?
Yeah, man. What a tragedy.
Thoughts and prayers on that. And we had that life lessons the other day where we were talking about security and stuff like that. You really don't know how important it is to kind of keep your head on a swivel until something like that occurs. You see something, you say something. You know what I mean? And you had mentioned it, man. There's doing things the right way, and sometimes you won't get the payday or hit pay dirt until later. You just gotta keep doing the right thing. Somebody probably saw this person and thought they looked dangerous, but did not do anything about it. It was too late. You can't wait till it's too late to make decisions sometimes.
Yeah, it's sad, man.
Very sad, very sad, man.
You know,
Yeah, Michigan State Spartan Nation, man. We're dedicating this show to you guys today.
yeah. So, what you got planned for today, Coach Bald?
Well, we got a few things going on with the business that we've got to take care of. And then probably about 4 o'clock, me and the wife are going to get all decked out and we're going to pick up the granddaughters and everything. And we're going to a hibachi restaurant. I could not be more fired up about that. They're all going to look pretty. I'll be posting some pictures later on. But with that being said, I really am going to focus and have a really, really good time with them. And that there's so many other people I wish that I could do that with. My mom. Your mom. Howard Bronson, man. Your mom, Mama B. There's just so many amazing women that have influenced me in my whole life. My Aunt Colleen, she was basically my second mom kind of growing up until Mama T took that over, when I got to the high school range. But also my TT Heidi, man, she's been one that's been just so amazing for me. My mama Bernstein. So yeah, man, there's been a lot of amazing women and influences in my life that have really helped me, and looked at the best in me when I didn't think there was a whole lot of good in me. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
You know, I I remember you as a kid growing up, and when you're a kid, you just kind of do what your folks say and believe what your folks believe, and everybody's situation is different, but everybody needs guidance. Everybody needs discipline. Somebody to display what the right thing is, and as coaches and with St. Pete Rejuvenate, y'all are helping change people's lives, and the influence that we have is powerful. So, I don't know how to prevent bad situations from occurring, but hopefully we, I don't know if there's something we can do to help others. And I mean, man, just it's sad, man. I mean, it's the same kids some of the same kids that were there at the shooting in Michigan were also there at Michigan State.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nuts, man. But if anybody has any questions or comments this morning, we're happy to be with y'all. This is Life Lessons. Coach Bald, Coach Taylor. We're going to be doing this. Coach Tatum, let me talk a little bit about you. Coach Tatum, you have motivated me. All right, you have motivated me because you said in your message, let me read it, Coach. What did Coach Tatum put? This was motivating. You never know what motivates somebody else. But Coach Tatum he said, I got to find it, man. You put a lot of stuff on Twitter, Coach Bald. Maybe I have to go to mine.
Sorry about that.
Coach Bald, you are active in social media.
Yeah,
go follow Coach _Bald. This is Coach Tatum put on Twitter. He said, I'll be there in the morning for Life Lessons. It's a part of my morning routine now. I'll see you in the morning with Coach Taylor. I mean, that tweet right there, I've had some technical difficulties this morning. I got to change some things around with this setup. Now I got this $100 camera from Walmart, okay? Got that on Black Friday. There's a reason it was $100. I got this $300 microphone in front of me. All right, and that's Coach Bald is going to upgrade. But I don't even know if he should upgrade. I think he should just stick to an iPhone. The iPhone is the greatest invention of all time. Steve Jobs was laughed at when he brought that out, but I got a big fancy microphone and a big fancy arm here. I got a $500 camera over here. I can't even hook it up to this computer. And I got a $100 camera that half the time don't even work. A webcam for $50 is just as good. Okay, an iPhone is just as good. Basically, what I'm trying to say is don't get too fancy. KISS. Some people believe that means keep it simple, stupid. All right, I believe in the kill philosophy. I got this from Coach Rex Ryan. He said, I don't believe in KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I believe in the kill philosophy. Keep it likable and learnable. And that's what I've always embraced ever since I learned about that was the kill philosophy. Keep it likable and learnable. And we got to keep it simple. We can't be getting too fancy. All right. You always want to, when you're playing somebody, you want to put in a fancy play or a trick play. No. Keep it simple. Get good at the basics. And Coach Bald, you don't have any issues with your phone. Remember when you first joined Totem Pole Nation, you couldn't even figure out how to work your iPhone. Now you're the one that is setting up the live streams. You're the one that's setting up the talks with Kevin Hardy, not Greg Hardy, the guy that got kicked out of the NFL. That's what we need to do. Let's set up a match between Greg Hardy and the Cyborg. Let's call him out, man.
Oh man. I like.
Does Greg Hardy want some of the Cyborg? Someone smarter than me told me once, surround yourself with good people and people that are like-minded. And I tell you, man, I haven't met many people like me other than when I watched The One That Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. All right, yeah. Jack Nicholson, that's a great movie. And what did you take from that movie, Coach Bald, when you watched it? Because have you watched it within the last 20 years?
Man, no, I have not.
Okay.
I
you need to watch it
when I was 20. So,
okay, you need to watch it because basically Jack Nicholson.
Chief.
Yeah, Chief Jack Nicholson.
Which one would I have been?
You probably would have been Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson went to jail. Went to prison. He was dating a girl that was too young for him. And when he went to prison, yeah. But this is old school, man. This was a long time ago this happened. But the girl lied to him. The girl said that she was 20 or something. But, he went to prison, and then he faked being crazy because he thought that if he went to the loony bin that it would be easier. So he faked being crazy, and they put him in, the mental institution.
Yeah.
And when he went there, he met these guys, and they were all different. And then he met this nurse, Nurse Ratchet. And there might be a Nurse Ratchet in your life. Nurse Ratchet was an evil person that hated her life. And she made those guys' life miserable. Wouldn't let them watch the ball game, wouldn't let them play cards, wouldn't let the guy have his cigarettes. But then Jack Nicholson finds out that basically he takes them on that fishing trip. And basically these guys are scared of the real world. And he finds out that these dudes do not have to be there. They can leave anytime they want. But they're scared of the outside world because someone else has told them that they're crazy.
Wow.
And he tells them, he says, you guys aren't crazy. Like the one guy, some girl had broke up with him or something, and then somebody else's wife had left him. And then you got old Chief over there. He don't talk the whole movie, but he can talk. But they're scared of the outside world, and they've gotten comfortable being, in their cave.
Right.
Being in, the nut house or whatever it's called back then.
Sounds like COVID.
Yeah, it is. Do you know anything about the allegory of the cave?
I want to hear all about it.
Okay, well, the allegory of the cave was told by Plato in Greece, and Plato never wrote anything down. It was Socrates. And actually, my fault. I'm all wrong. Socrates was the original. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Socrates never wrote anything down, but Plato, he wrote down the allegory of the cave. So I guess this was a story that Plato told. But in the allegory of the cave, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, in the allegory of the cave, there's three guys, and all three guys are chained up. They've been chained up their whole life, and all they can see is a cave wall, and they can see shadows that appear on the cave wall, and that's all they know for their entire life. It's just a story. It's not real. But all they see is these shadows, and from these shadows, they name them things. They give a name for a person that's walking by or a horse that's walking by or whatever, but they create, names and words for these things. But at one time, one of the guys, he gets to go out of the cave, and he gets to see the real world. And he thinks that the real world is not real because the only thing he's ever known is the shadows. So he doesn't understand the real world and how, like, a tree is really a tree, and that the thing on the wall was really a shadow. It was an illusion. So finally he realizes that there was a different way and that what they had seen in the cave wasn't true. So he goes back into the cave and tells the dudes, like, look, y'all, what's on these walls ain't real. It's just shadows. They're illusions. Like, there's a real world outside. And you know what they call the guy?
Crazy.
Yeah, they call him crazy. They say, you're crazy. And the reason that they told this story is because they said that's what it's like being a philosopher, is that when you figure it out, other people are going to say that you're crazy, or you try to tell other people about, philosophy. I mean, which is one of the first really studies that they started doing, was just sitting around and talking and asking questions. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, the Socratic method, asking questions. And then when you ask a question, like Socrates was put to death. He was put to death for two things: for corrupting the minds of the youth and for teaching against the gods. Because he asked, like, do you believe in the gods? Why do you believe in the gods? Why is there evil in the world? Where do you go when you die? Stuff like that. And then he just let them talk. So that's the allegory of the cave. And a lot of people live in their cave. Like you, Kyle. When you were growing up, all you knew was, where you grew up, Parkley, living with your mom, your dad, and them being separated, and your brother, and that was your cave that you grew up in. But as you went out and saw other things and other people and other families, like, it opened your mind. And then going to Florida, really changed your allegory, the cave. You understand what I'm saying? How do you feel about what I'm saying?
No, man, you nailed it. Yeah, you're exactly right. We know so many people uh, that only know their same environment that they've been in their whole life. And I think that's a thing where it's a comfort zone. And people get very comfortable, and I think you kind of sometimes limit your growth when you want to stay in that comfort zone. I think when you can be comfortable doing uncomfortable things, then you can be a pretty unlimited person, and your philosophy can be unlimited as well. you
Mm-hmm.
know I like Coach Tatum, adding us to his ritual, man. I love that. There's things I do that are just not negotiable. I'm gonna have my apple cider vinegar first thing in the morning. I'm gonna take a very cold shower first thing in the morning. It's not negotiable. It's not something that's even questionable. Are they fun to do? No, they are not. But they're easy to me. I've been doing it for over 10 years now. And the health benefits that those two things give me, feel like it gives me momentum, going through the day. But yeah, being able to, go to different places, be with different people, it's just a versatility quality that I have. And, um, I've, I feel like I'm the type of guy that can sit there and, you know, have a good conversation with, a guy that's dealing with some hardship that other people might look at as a bum in the street.
Hmm.
I feel like I can have a good conversation with somebody that's dealing with some hardship like that. And I've been around guys that drive Bentleys and are execs, and don't have any kind of money issues in the world. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
both and both still have major problems in their lives and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think my versatility. I'm just a man's man. You know what I mean? I can relate to both sides. It's I feel like I've been on both sides and everything. And but yeah, I think as a young guy, I went to 8 different schools growing up,
Mm.
so I'm used to, kind of, and I think with what my mom was going through, it was, you stay at a place and, until they jack up the rent, and then you go to the next place that's the cheapest, and then you go to the next place that's the cheapest. There wasn't a lot of consistency. I never really stayed anywhere for a very, very long time, unfortunately. But with that being said, it's been a great thing because I got friends, all throughout the Richmond area, from, Mechanicsville, from the East End to the South Side, Chesterfield, over by the airport, so it's been, undercover blessing for me.
Let me show you something. I don't know if the sound works or not. Let me show this to you. All right, this is a video. I'm probably gonna get a copyright violation, but that's okay.
Uh,
Um, this is a video about 3 Eastern philosophers and what they thought when they tasted vinegar. All
mm,
right, and it makes me think of you with your vinegar ritual.
yeah,
All right, tell me if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
I hear some clicking.
It's difficult to know much for
Maybe they won't let me show it.
be a little confusing. It's also
Yeah, I
sometimes
hear it.
translated Lao Tzu or Lao Tse. Lao Tzu is said to have been a record keeper in the court of the central Chinese Zhou dynasty in the 6th century BC and an older contemporary of Confucius. He may also have been entirely mythical, much like Homer in Western culture. Lao Tzu is said to have tired of life in the Zhou court as it grew increasingly morally corrupt. So he left and rode on a water buffalo to the western border of the Chinese Empire. Although he was dressed as a farmer, the border official recognized him and asked him to write down his wisdom. According to this legend, what Lao Tzu wrote became the sacred text known as the Tao Te Ching. After writing this, Lao Tzu is said to have crossed the border and disappeared from history, perhaps to become a hermit. In reality, the Tao Te Ching is likely to be...
All right, so I'm going to fast forward it to when
where's the vinegar?
They talk.
Oh
yeah, it didn't get to that, but that's okay. At least you know who they're talking about. They're talking about Lao Tzu.
Yeah.
All right,
which are believed to be governed by immortals. Taoism is deeply intertwined with other branches of thought, like Confucianism and Buddhism. There is a story about the three great Asian spiritual leaders, Lao Tzu, Confucius, and Buddha. All were meant to have tasted vinegar. Confucius found it sour, much like he found the world full of degenerate people. And Buddha found it bitter, much like he found the world to be full of suffering. But Lao Tzu found the world sweet. This is telling because Lao Tzu's philosophy tends to look at the apparent discord in the world and see an underlying harmony guided by something called the Tao. The Tao Te Ching, which describes the Tao, is something...
All right, so basically, I just shared that with you because, you talk about vinegar and, all three of those guys, they tasted the vinegar, but they tasted the vinegar and they saw something different. Whereas the last dude, I think that's more like the Jocko, the good, whatever happens, good.
Yeah, we'll learn from it.
Yeah, so I guess it's how you see the world. So how does it feel to wear that LC Bird jacket?
Oh, man, it feels good, man. It feels nice and warm.
20 plus years after you graduated.
Yeah, man. It feels warm. I remember too when I was at Lakewood, we were heading into the playoffs and it was a little chilly, and I broke out the jacket and everything, and all the guys, they're all looking at these bad boys, man. All the good stuff right there. And I was just telling them, I was like, look, man, you guys keep playing and you'll get some of these like that. So
it's a ritual.
Yeah,
it was a ritual. It was tradition to get that jacket.
But let me tell you this, with what you just showed, man, they had a thing they did like in Times Square or something like that. And what happened is they had, when people would walk by, they had coffee, right? And what the person would do is they would, ask another person, hey, can you hold this coffee? And they did this like 10 times. They did 10 times with hot coffee, and they did it 10 times with cold coffee. And each time they would hand it to a person and say, hey, can you just hold this for a second and I'll be right back? Well, the person never came back, but they found the person later on that was holding the coffee. And they said, can you tell us about the person, that handed you the coffee? What type of person do you think they were? And how about this? Everybody that they handed the warm coffee to, the people said, they seemed like a very good guy. They seemed very warm and they just seemed like a really good person, and they had a warmth about them. All the people on the flip side, all the people that had that cold coffee and that colder glass, they asked them, and they all said the individuals seemed very cold, very just all about themselves, rude almost. So, that's I think that's somewhere else, with that whole philosophy thing, man. What you feel like you see is what you think about, what you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Coach Tatum asked, Coach, what's your favorite team bonding activity to do in the off season? Do you take your guys to an overnight camp? Do you put guys in positions to lead, fail? All right. So first thing, Coach, what's your favorite team bonding activity to do in the off season? My favorite team bonding activity is the off season. It's 3 days a week, and it's from 3 to 5. So we tell our guys, if you want to play football in the off season, we expect you to be there Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday after school from 3 to 5. So if you have a job, work after that. If you have a job, work all day Wednesday. If you have a job, work all day Friday. If you have a trainer, train anytime other than Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 3 to 5. Because during the season, we're going to go Monday through Friday, at least 3 to 5. And then in the summer, we're going to go in the mornings from like 8 to 10. So we do our off-season workouts in the summer from 8 to 10. And, I think a lot of things that people do, we took the guys bowling. We get them pizza, like when they don't expect it. We reward players that embrace the process, not just guys that have talent. So, I think a lot of things like going to a football game or going to a camp overnight, I think a lot of that stuff is, just so you can say that you did it. One day, if there's a lot of trash around the school, we'll get trash bags and tell the guy, give him some gloves and say, hey, man, we're going to do community service. Let's go pick up all this trash because it looks like crap. We want this place looking like Arlington National Cemetery. And we want this place not even a cigarette butt, nothing to be anywhere perfect. And they go out there and they pick up trash. I mean, we've painted the stadium at Meadowbrook High School. We went and got paint. We went and got paintbrushes, and guys painted the stadium. So I think a lot of things that coaches do that claim builds team is just things that they post on social media, to give themselves exposure or to, say, hey, look what we're doing. But really what it is that builds team is the grind and the adversity and the life, just spending time. How do you show somebody you love them? Time and attention. I mean, you have to be all in. You have to be bought in. And that's how you build team, is through seeing. I mean, they asked, like, the SEALs. I had Steve Canner on, and he loves the SEALs. He loves Jocko. And they asked these guys, and I'm not one of these guys, but these elite people. And they don't even look elite, a lot of them. They're not jacked. They're just regular guys. But why do they do it? Why do they do it? Is it for the country? Is it for the flag? And the reason that they do it, Coach Tatum, is they do it for the guy next to them, because they don't want to let that guy down. They want to make sure that that guy gets home to his family. That's why they do it. They do it for the guy next to him. So, Coach Tatum, I know you're doing what's right. And, what do they say? Like, comparison is the, I don't know, basically looking at people on Facebook or looking at people on Twitter and what they're doing. You're like, sometimes you can get ideas, but sometimes you'd be like, well, wow, why are we not doing that? And there are teams that do overnight camps. I don't like really overnight camps because I don't want anything to happen. One of my friends, he had a situation occur in the locker room that he wasn't responsible for. They had been doing it for years. And, I mean, bad stuff can happen. So overnight camp, a lot of times I find out overnight camps are to make money. I remember one camp we used to take 100 kids at $50 a kid. That's 5 G's. And I used to bring a check for 5 G's. And they used to work our kids out. But that was the team bonding. But, they didn't stay overnight. But finally, I was like, these guys aren't even recruiting our players. Why are we giving them $5,000? So we stopped going to that. How do you put you guys in position to lead and fail? We want our guys, our leaders, to be guys that show up to the weight room, make good grades, and stay out of trouble. And all a leader is somebody that cares. It's better when your leaders, your captains, are the best players. Coach Beamer said that it's easy when your best players are the best people. All right, Coach Bald, what do you think about that? What did y'all?
Hey, you expect the most from the best, right? That was what Coach McDaniels had said, and I just love that. Yeah, man. One of the things that Coach Moore does, man, he'll have the guys, all go to church every once in a while. He'll have the guys do. The thing I always enjoyed is we would do a car wash. Here in Florida during certain times of the year, it rains almost every other day. So a car wash is kind of a big deal. But yeah, man, they would just set up some, they'd set up at a certain parking lot and just start doing car washes and stuff like that. I think anything you can do where you're all together, you're having bonds and stuff like that. And, being a line guy, whenever I would walk into, any kind of room where there was meetings going on, I immediately made sure, the OL needs to be sitting together. You know what I mean? The linebacking core, they probably need to be sitting together, and just, because that's exactly what it's all about, man. Fighting for the man beside you is what creates those bonds. There's something about sweating it out, blood, sweat, and tears, and looking over and seeing a guy that's got that same blood, sweat, or tears coming out of his body, that you can look at each other and, how Jocko says, go, good. You know what I mean? You guys have been there together, and it's been an amazing thing. That's what it's all about, man. Just creating that bonds and the brotherhood, man. The brotherhood that we have within the coaching ranks. And last night on our Hog football chat, I had a lot going on, but I hopped on there, just to do a quick introduction. I liked a couple of comments. I threw a shout out at Coach Tatum, and I pretty much follow everybody that hops on that, man. It's such a good way of networking, and hopefully we'll have some other gurus on here at Totem Pole Nation. So yeah, man, I hopped on there real quick, but definitely threw a shout out to our OL enthusiast, Coach Ian Tatum there, just doing such an amazing job in North Carolina. And I see that guy, he's just the type of guy that could go anywhere and be loved right away. And what he's doing on his own podcast, definitely give him a follow. He's a guy that just loves to move a man from point A to point B against his will. And there's no more dominating feeling as a lineman than doing that. And we couldn't be more proud of the guy and what he's got going on. And I want to give a shout out to my boy Kenny Brooks, man. He's a great father in the Richmond, Virginia area. His son's playing ball. He just got the starting center position due to hard work, man. Hard work. You don't always get what you want, but you always get what you work hard for. Isn't that right, Coach?
Where do you get that? Sorry.
I want to say he's out in the Charles City area. Where you at, Kenny?
Kenny, I'm the head football coach at LC Bird High School.
Yeah. Also, Kenny does a catering business there, and I told him to come bring some products over to you guys. Yeah, he's in New Kent.
Yeah, he's in New Kent. Yeah, Kenny, man. Anything you can do for the guys? We got probably about 50 guys staying back after school. We go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So Thursday will be our last workout. We work out from 3 to 5. And, we always like to do something the last day before like a dead period. They have it in Virginia High School League now. You can practice year round, not with equipment, but you don't have to hide with the ball anymore. So, like, we haven't touched the ball yet in the winter conditioning. We've been going since January, but we're getting ready to go into a dead period because spring sports start. So, there's 2 weeks where we're not going to work out because it's the state rules, and it kind of gives us a break as coaches, gives kids a chance to try out for another sport, baseball, track, and we want all our guys playing another sport, but we have to take a break from the off-season conditioning for 2 weeks, and then we'll get back at it. So I'm really going to next 2 weeks do a lot of clinics with the coaches. But Kenny, anything you can do to help us, we appreciate it. And we'll make you a sponsor of Totem Pole. There you go.
Up in smoke catering, man. He specializes in smoked meat.
Yeah. Kenny, here's my phone number, 804-839-5244. That's 804-839-5244. Just send me a text,
Coach,
and I'll hit you back.
Mad skills.
Yeah.
Mad skills. The GOAT of VA told you don't do that kind of stuff, what you just did.
But I mean, dude, all you got to do is Google. I mean, my phone number is not a secret. I've had the same phone number since 2003.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had this 837-5244.
They want to find you, they'll go right here.
Yeah, anybody that wants to find me, they know where I'm at. Like, Coach, well, what do you do? Well, I show up at LC Bird at 7, and I usually leave around 7.
Yeah,
maybe later, but I mean, and then what's it? Same number, same hood. It's all good. Yeah. You know where to find me. Everybody knows where I'm at. Courthouse Green, or I might be in Afton. Not Afton in Richmond, but Afton on Salem Church. All right. So the two closest neighborhoods to LC Bird. That's where you will find me.
Amen, man.
On the corner, going through Gates Green. No, not Gates Green, Courthouse Green. That's what they call it now. They call the neighborhood Gates Green.
Gates Green, no, really?
Yeah, I guess because the street is Gates Green. That's what they call the neighborhood, but it's not. It's everything's Courthouse Green.
He'll be the guy holding the sign that says Savages pointing this way, because he's always looking for football players, and Savages make the best football players, man, for sure.
Everybody wants to be a Savage, man. But I think it takes savage coaches.
It does.
You got to have savage coaches, man, to lead the way. And that doesn't mean
that was a great thing last night. If you checked out the podcast I had with Coach Granger, he's a defensive line coach at Lakewood. He brought up a time where he was varsity, but he was one of our smaller linemen, probably 5'9", 5'10", about 205, 215. And I brought him down with the JV guys, because he was, he looked like he kind of blended in with those guys. Some of those guys were way bigger than him on the JV level. And, so it wasn't to bully those guys, but it was to show those guys how to come off the ball, man. And it was like the Oprah Winfrey show, man. It was like, you get a pancake, you get a pancake, you get a pancake. And man, he just mauled all those guys. And then guys wanted to step up and want another shot at the title. So it was really neat. A couple guys took 3 or 4 pancakes. But the next time those guys went against JV level guys, man, they brought it. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I think it does. It helps to have a savage to, create future savages and whatnot. But also I wanted to mention this, Coach. We had talked about, Kevin Hardy. And, man, he came from one of the best draft classes of all time, man. That 1996 draft class. If you look at that class, there's, I want to say, 5 or 6 Hall of Famers. He won the Butkus Award that year, and he beat out 2 Hall of Famers, Ray Lewis, and he beat out Zach Thomas, arguably 2 of the best middle linebackers, of all time. And also he had Simeon Rice on that same football team. And he was a guy that went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they were a team that was a brand new team. And they had their first year was bad. Then they got him. And those guys, they were a powerhouse in that, and from that conference, from there for several years. And he was a huge part of that. That was the Fred Taylor we Mark Brunell, So I cannot wait to get him on. And we got the big guy, Kenny Thomason.
Who was the coach of the Jaguars? Or how do you say that word? Is it Jaguars? How do you say it?
Yes.
Jaguars? It's like, is it Petersburg or is it Petersburg? I mean, what is it? Jaguars? I don't know.
I think I like the way you said it the first time. If you're from the north, it's the Jaguars. If you're from the south, it's the Jaguars.
Okay, good.
Right?
Jacksonville Jaguars. Well,
there you go.
Who was the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Man, that's a really good question.
His name is Tom Coughlin.
I thought that was. Oh, that's right, because he ended up being the GM. Right, he ended up being the GM later on.
Yeah,
right.
And Tom Coughlin's underrated, man. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. The Giants went downhill after they fired him. But there's a cool story about Coach Coughlin. Jeremy Spear.
Spear, what's up, man? What's good?
Hardy with the beast at Fuma in '91. Where's he originally from?
I believe Indiana. Yeah, believe Indiana.
So was he post grad? Was he PG? And I assume he was.
Yeah, I'll have to research that, man. Yeah, we'll ask him, man. We'll have him on live. I got the big fella, Kenny Tomlinson, who coaches Coach, man, we're going to have to try to pull some strings for him because, like I said, he's going to the pro day at Northwestern. But unless a coach, an NFL coach, asks him to work out, he won't be able to work out. They'll just be able to measure him, see how long his arms are, and the guy's got long arms. He's what you want in an offensive lineman. But I just have a hard. I don't see why you wouldn't. The guy's going to be there. He's just as big as everybody else. Why wouldn't you have the guy work out?
Mm-hmm.
I told him, man, if you just do your warm ups like you would anyway. You know what I mean?
But
show
man,
up. Yeah, we might have to holler at some of our coaches that we know and ask for a solid. I know Coach Moore is he's a scout for the Rams, so I'm sure they'll have a guy within their organization that's up there because Northwestern's got two of the top premier offensive lineman prospects, and Big Ken's going to look just like those guys. You know what I mean? He ended up going to a smaller school for whatever reason, but as we see in the NFL, every single year you got smaller school guys going in and making an enormous impact with their teams.
Yeah, especially the O-line. I mean, he just needs to show up. Tom Coughlin, there was a story about Tom Coughlin when he was head coach at BC, Boston College. And there was all these rumors that Tom Coughlin was going to go up to the NFL. So people were always, how does my mic sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so there was always these rumors that Tom Coughlin was going to go to the NFL. So there was a meeting called on a Friday night. It was 9 o'clock at night or something crazy. And all the players from Boston College were there, and they were expecting for Tom Coughlin to tell them that he was leaving and he was going to go to pro football to be, head coach or something. So all the players are in there, and he walks in there and he goes, I called this team meeting because tomorrow we're going to have Roger Staubach. And Roger Staubach, Staubach, the quarterback from the Cowboys. Roger Staubach is going to come, and he was a Heisman Trophy winner. I think he went to Navy.
Yeah.
And he won, at least 2 Super Bowls, right? And he's going to come speak to our team tomorrow. And he was like, I called this meeting because I'm going to practice introducing Roger Staubach, and y'all are going to stand up and give him a standing ovation. So he did his whole introduction. He said, this is Roger Staubach, and he was the quarterback for the Cowboys, and he's here to speak to y'all. And every single kid had to stand up and practice doing the standing ovation. That's the type of coach Roger Staubach was, dude. I mean, that's the type of coach that Tom Coughlin was. Was that he
awesome.
Was gonna get his team ready, and he was not going to be embarrassed. So that's even something we practice, man. Is we practice doing standing ovations and teach kids, dude, if everybody else is standing and giving a standing ovation, don't be the idiot that's still sitting down, clapping, or just sitting down and doing nothing. Or don't be the guy getting booed and crown yourself. Guys, I love it. I'm going to go and make some football play videos before I start the school day. Be good or be good at it. Coach Tatum, make some content.
Keep
making that football content. All right. And we're going to keep pumping you up and pumping your channel and pumping Coach Tatum football. I knew a guy who started a website, and he got out of teaching. He got out of teaching because his income was solely based on his website and his articles and his videos that he was putting out. So that's pretty impressive, man. So Coach Tatum, keep doing what you're doing. We love it because, we love pounding the ball. It's a lost art. There's all these internet gurus and Twitter guys and stuff. But we're here. This is life lessons.
Without a doubt, guys. Big shout out to our sponsors, man. Cultivate Wellness. Health is wealth. Go there. Go see Julia. That's my beautiful cousin. She's going to hook you up. You're in good shape with her. Tell them Totem Pole Sports sent you. Tell them Coach Bald K sent you. Tell them Coach Troy Taylor sent you. You guys will be hooked up in no time. Tell them Coach Hutch sent you. And also, St. Pete Rejuvenate. If you're in the St. Pete, Tampa, Bradenton area, if you're in the state of Florida, reach out to us. We want to change your life the way you want it to be changed. And we're here for you. We're in your corner. We are the low man on the pole, but in the trenches, the low man always wins. All right. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Totem Pole Nation. And Coach, if you want to go ahead and send us out, man, it's been a blessing. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody, especially all the women in the world that put up with our stuff and love us. Thank you so much. But yeah, thank you, Coach Taylor.
Yeah, when you love somebody, you love them for their good and their bad. You just don't love the good. So appreciate people for who they are. And tell people how much you love them, and tell people how much you appreciate them, because you never know, when the last time it is that you're going to see them. And just happy Valentine's Day. And Coach Tatum has motivated me. And life lessons will be 7 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Amen.
And we'll be here, and we'll keep doing this podcast, and we're going to keep doing Totem Pole Nation. Totem Pole Sports became Totem Pole Nation. We appreciate everybody for stopping by and stopping in. Up in Smoke Catering. Can't wait to eat some of that barbecue. That sounds like some good stuff. I see y'all.